Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of toys or action figures or pop culture in general, please subscribe to my channel here, Karaoke Fanboy TV. As every Monday, I hope to post a new video in which I open a recently acquired action figure or toy. This episode is a pretty special one because it concludes a mini-series I've been in the middle of here for the past few weeks, featuring McFarlane Toys, DC Multiverse, Dark Knight Returns action figures. McFarlane Toys recently released 4 action figures from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. I purchased all 4 because I absolutely love that graphic novel. It is, in my opinion, as I've been saying, the best comic book story of all time. It's a beautiful comic book. It's an incredible graphic novel. Quite frankly, it's an amazing work of art that I think should be read, enjoyed, studied, and treasured for years to come. Such a fan of that story. I'm wearing my Batman shirt here to kind of commemorate that I've been in the middle of this series. And I started with the Joker, then I opened Robin, then Superman, then Batman. And if you've been watching, you may have noticed that perhaps my fondness for those characters are in fact in that order. I loved the Joker action figure, despite the fact that Robin's leg broke off when I opened her package. She is a cool toy. Superman's great. I had some issues with Batman, but ultimately, he is the figure I only, I not just wanted, but deserved, apparently. And now, what I'm going to do is assemble the horse. I just love saying that. I'm going to assemble a horse that came with those 4 figures. Now, at the end of The Dark Knight Returns, Gotham is in a nuclear winter. There's been the theater of war is going on, right? And Batman, an EMP, I believe an EMP has gone off, an electromagnetic pulse that has wiped out all electricity and power in the city. So Batman straddles a horse that he has in his stables, and that's what he uses to rally the citizens of Gotham and to ultimately save the day, right? So here he is on the back of this package here, riding that horse. And so I'm going to assemble it based on these, now that I'm looking at this, crude instructions provided by McFarlane Toys here. So this basically says just get all the parts and snap them together, right? It really doesn't say step 1, step 2, step 3. So what I'm going to do is extract the horse parts from these packages and then show you how easy it is to put them together. Knowing that I'm not an IKEA enthusiast, I don't regularly put things together. I usually enjoy things coming to me completely assembled and whole. You know, I don't even go to that pizza place where you got to warm it up when you bring it home. Papa Murphy's or whatever it is. I enjoy everything done when I get it. So I've never been crazy about the Build-A-Figure phenomenon in action figure collecting from the past, 10, 15 years or so. I do think it's a cool incentive for buying all of the action figures in a wave. I do like the way that it incentivizes completion, I suppose. But at the same time, figures have come out in waves that I don't care to have every one. So now I just have a random leg or a torso or something. And to me, it almost seems like a waste in that way. But I'm not like every action figure collector, I suppose. But I got it with this. I got the fever with this. Again, being a fan of this story, it was the horse that really drew me to these 4 figures. Because other versions of Batman, The Dark Knight Returns toys have come out in the past. I believe DC Direct maybe put out a line. Was it Mattel? It was some orange packaging. Just another incarnation of the DC Multiverse, I believe. It released some figures a while back, and the Mutant Leader from The Dark Knight Returns was a part of that wave. Now that I have these guys, I'm kind of tempted to go back and get just that one, so that I have a Mutant Leader to join these figures. So we'll see. But right now, I'm extracting the horse head and saddle that came with the Joker. And so here's the horse. It's heavier than I thought, honestly. There's the horse head right there. Almost the Dark Horse logo when I hold it straight at you, which is interesting because that's where Frank Miller ended up doing quite a bit of work, like with Sin City, just a few years after this story. Saddle came right out. Gosh, this is just and it's a hefty saddle. I mean, this is legit here. So, again, those came with the Joker. I'm excited to have those out and ready. Here is the horse's torso. Robin was right here. But now I'm just going to remove the two halves of this horse's body. So ultimately, when this figure is assembled, the horse is hollow. Sleepy Hollow. Here we go. Okay. Those came with Robin. Done. These are the hind legs that came with Superman. And these slid right out, which again makes me wonder why the rubber band is necessary. You know, these plastic bubbles are created in such a way that they so hug the figure that I don't think these, I don't know, the plastic bands aren't necessary to me. If anything, they make extracting the figures more difficult. They make opening the toy less fun to me. And I don't mind tape, like you can see here. These legs are taped in. Now, why are they taped in and not rubber banded in like this tail? Why is the tail not taped in instead of that? Okay, so there's the tail, and it's heavy. It's a lot of horsehair. And the legs come right out as well. There they go. And there is articulation in these legs. The hind legs as well. They bend at the knee. They bend at the hoof. I don't know if I've ever experienced a hoof joint quite like this before. Okay. And so, here is the horse in pieces. The instructions are, I mean, kind of pointless because this is basically just kind of a common sense assembly here. So I do need to see like where the saddle comes into play. Okay. So if I okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so here's the body, right? This is the key. I assume once I snap the body into place, it's a done deal. So the horse head fits there like that. Oh, okay, here's what's interesting. No, it's consistent. So I can put the back legs on first, which tells me I'm going to put the saddle on. Well, no, yeah. Okay, so I can put the back legs don't require the snapping together of the torso. So to me, step one is apply the back legs. And so let's see if they audibly snap. I don't think so. Yes, they do. Okay. Whew. And it just feels so permanent that if I messed that up in any way... Here's what's interesting, though, is with the horse, I could see kind of the cog work that I've been complaining about with the McFarlane toys in general. The snapping noise clearly comes from this kind of joint, which I guess is okay, but... Okay, you know what? I've been overthinking this because the legs can go into their respective torso halves way before I snap the torso together. I thought everything was going to go up the middle here, and then I just kind of had to precariously snap things together. That's not the case, thank goodness. But what's key is identifying the right leg from the left. And, okay, it says here, there's an RQ here. Can you see that? R. L. Do these legs have that too? They don't, but they probably figured you should be able to figure that out, right? If I messed this up, could I remove these legs easily? Doesn't feel like it, so be careful, folks. Okay, but R. So this says L, LQ. Is it my left? Does the LQ go on the outside or the inside? Does that look right? I mean, to me it would make more sense. Yeah. So the horse is right, with the letters on the inside. I can apply the legs like so, and they're in there. Oof, I hope I did that right. Okay, and so left, this is the horse's left. But for the horse's left, the lettering looks like it goes on the outside, which is just, the inconsistency there is freaking me out, but that's just the way it looks like it goes. So the lettering's hidden by the muscles here, but I don't know how entertaining this is to watch. Is that right? It's freaking me out, guys. I don't. It's not fitting quite right. Oh, there it goes. It just feels so final that it's freaking me out. But that looks, does that look right? Yeah, that's right. Okay. What's up with the tail now? The tail looks like I can put the tail in after I snap everything together. The saddle, I feel like, should be okay. Easily slid on. So then the horse's head. Okay, I mean, this is it. If I've messed this up, it's on me. This is somewhat precarious, but you gotta line it up. I don't know how entertaining this is to watch because I'm kind of like doing this very perilously here. So I'm sorry for the dead air, guys, but you know, you want to get this right, and usually you're not assembling a horse, you're assembling like a humanoid character. So it doesn't feel, there's a familiarity to that because we're humans, we're humanoids. In this case, I need to know like horse anatomy, and I'm not as versed in that. So, okay, I'm not getting an easy snap here. So what am I doing wrong? I want to snap this together before I have the head on, right? Oh, okay. Let's try this again. And if this assumption is correct, I will tell you guys what I'm doing here, if I've got this figured out. So this goes here like this. Didn't really say as much on the box. Okay. McFarlane's people, you guys watching this? Yeah, you're probably thinking, what a moron. Okay. There it is, there it is, there it is. So, oh, okay. Well, the leg came right out as I was messing with the articulation, so maybe that's not as permanent. But what I did to get the body together was like kind of hooked. So it looked like they were the same at first, but one was actually kind of like this. So when you get that in front and then you pull back and it's snapped in there. So that's probably how I could disassemble it too. But you get this cool deal with the horse there. I'm gonna put the leg back in. I'm just, again, like freaking out over did I get the articulation right? But I think so. So let me just snap this back up there. And I can see where it's scraped this piece of the leg here. So here's a horse. Here's a horse. Okay. Tail, easy enough. Goes in. Probably should have put the saddle on first. Tail came out, no problem. So the saddle, just gonna finagle on here. Saddle went on pretty easy. So far, so good. Fitting it over the stomach. There it is. Make sure you do it with the seat in the back, like I did. Looks like the reins snapped off. There's a peg right there. So the reins are attached to the horse's snout or nose with pegs right there. They can come back here and rest right there like that. Okay, feeling a little better about everything. I feel like I did the front legs wrong. But I don't know, and they're not staying in easily. And I'm afraid if I push them up and really snap them in, then it's final. So when this says RQ, I presume that means right. And is that the horse's right? Like right here? Or is it right when I'm looking at the horse up here? You know what I mean? So that part scares me a little bit. Tail goes in. Tail has a joint here, which is interesting, but it's so heavy. I don't know how practical that is. The whole thing feels kind of clumsy to me. But done complaining. I'm just going to put it in and finalize this here. So here I go, putting this leg in again. There. Maybe it's not snapping in because I'm not putting it in the right spot. But here's the horse. Here's Batman. I'm almost over it at this point, guys, if you can't tell. Look at the picture here. The picture has it so that these legs are up here like this, coming down like that, right? So that's the way a horse stands, so I'm pretty sure that's right. And in fact, that's the most stable it's felt the whole time. And now, the final move. The saddle has a cool detail. There's a bat symbol on the top of the saddle here, which is very cool. And in line with Batman's consistent sense of branding. If I put his feet in the stirrups, right? Is that what they're called? I have my very own Batman the Dark Knight Returns Batman on his horse. This is okay. I'm getting back into it. Except I don't know if these straps could actually even go into his hand, and as I'm messing with them, they're popping off his snout. So I have to figure that out. Later. Those are the little things that just to make something like this kind of less fun, I guess. I mean, it's just the nature of the construct of toys. But when I was a kid, I just don't remember everything being like difficult. Things snapped into hands easily. I didn't have to boil water and stick characters' legs in there to manipulate them so they'd stand easily and stuff like that. I'm doing that now as an adult, and I find it ultimately unnecessary. But at the end of the day, do I have Batman from The Dark Knight Returns atop his horse, which I believe is an unnamed horse, and with a little bit of work, will it look cool? Absolutely. So if you're a fan of The Dark Knight Returns story and comics, as I am, I would encourage you to go out and buy these toys. About $25 a pop, so you're going in for $100 and $110 total here for 4 figures, but you end up with 5 as you can assemble this horse. McFarlane Toys also released Batman in his Dark Knight Returns armor, which is not a part of this series and is, at least here in Phoenix, way easier to find. In fact, I've even found the blue and gray variant at Walmart. I've left those on the pegs for now. I may go back and pick them up, considering I have these 4 figures, 5 figures really. I may go back just to kind of have a sense of completion there. But this video was messy. It was a Build-A-Figure video. I appreciate if you've watched this whole thing to see how it turns out. And I may just keep you in the loop if this thing presents any difficulty on display. The tail itself is super loose, you know, and it didn't snap in completely. So, but you know what? At the end of the day, 4 figures came with parts to build a complete horse, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I mean, you know, if this horse were a wolf, I could hear it howl, and I would know how it feels. It's my favorite line from The Dark Knight Returns, to paraphrase. Thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. Next time I will look here in my living room, behold one of my action figures, and just tell myself, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.